They, they take me. I've decided to start telling a little bit about my experience with alien abductions. I hope people enjoy this. This is kind of just a story about what's been happening to me, mostly over the last year, but it's been something that's been ongoing since I was 8. Obviously my voice is distorted, it makes me sound completely ridiculous, but I want to remain anonymous for a lot of reasons, as much as I possibly can. But I've decided to start talking some, because I have a story to tell. I'm a completely normal looking person. If you were to run into me, you'd have no idea that this is something going on in my life. There's a stigma I fight though, and everybody fights who deals with this. And many times that stigma keeps people from understanding this is happening to them. I think people would be shocked if they truly understood how many people are taken. I would have to guess 30% are taken at one point or another in their lives. Yeah, 30%. I'm sure of this. This stigma, which is there by no accident at all, makes everybody believe that it's only toothless rednecks, and I hate to stereotype any group. Hell, many of my best friends have been toothless rednecks. I'm not one, and if you look into the people who have been abducted, they're typically extremely intelligent, they're self-conscious, and they're usually very successful unless they figure out what's going on. I fit into that entirely. That's me. I figured out what's going on though. I've been an abductee since I was 8 years old. I don't recall my first abduction necessarily. I do remember as a kid at the age 8 looking out, and I remember telling the kids at school the next day I saw a UFO a couple houses down looking out my window. I was on the second story growing up. But the more I look back on it now, I vividly remember this UFO. Something people need to understand about abductions is memories are erased through some mechanism that they have. As an adult now, I understand that what happens for children when they're up there is essentially they play with other hybrid children. Children that are mixed, half human and half alien. So I assume that's what happened with me when I was a kid while I was up there. As a kid, I always knew there was something different about me, I guess. Something special, I thought. I always had the sense that at some point in my life that it would be my duty to save the world. I've just always had that sense. As an adult, I've realized that this saving the world deal, thank God, I'm only one of a very large group of people who has a mission here to help people out. I've known since I was a young child that was my job here. I've known I have a mission here. I've always felt I'd die young. And I'm still young, about 30. That's who I am. And something I've learned from this is I can't change that. I vividly remember one interaction with them as a kid. I remembered praying and thinking I was talking to God. And it's now my personal belief that we talk to the angels telepathically, and that's what prayer is. But I remember I had posters on my wall, and they were taped at the very top. And I said, well, God, if you're here, raise one of those posters when I get to 3. And I counted to 1, 2, 3, and up it went. And it scared me. It scared the hell out of me. But I asked it to do it again, and it did the same thing. It's so subtle when you're taken, and that's what a lot of people I think don't understand, and that's something I want to let people know about. Because as a child, I could have been taken as often as I am now, which is multiple times a week, and never noticed it. Their ability to erase your memory is complete. They leave almost no traces other than when they want to, when they want you to find out that you're going with them. But that's after a long time after they trust you to know. So I knew as a kid something was going on, but did I suspect alien abduction? I guess maybe. I don't know. I guess I thought about that. More than anything, I just always felt I was different. Through my teenage years, too. Never quite felt like I belonged here. My guess is when I was up there as a kid playing with the hybrid kids and with other human kids, I was probably very comfortable there. But I don't remember. I just know as an adult, that's what kids typically do up there. That's what they always do up there. So I can assume that was the case. I had plenty of friends here on Earth as a kid. I had a weird way of picking them. I always looked for the kids that didn't have any other friends. And I felt really sorry for them. And then I just went and was their friend. I knew they needed one. I still do the same thing. Those are the only people I wanted to be friends with, were the people that had no other friends. Those are the most interesting people you meet. Now this memory erasing that they do, it begs some really obvious questions. First one is why? Why do they erase the memories? Because they do. Thoroughly. If you really search and ask, they'll give you a little bit here and there. But a lot of people seem to think we mean nothing to them. If we mean nothing, why do they take the effort to bring us back? Why do they return us? Why do they stay with us our entire life? Why is it that I and every other abductee, the people who have actually experienced this and recalled they experienced this, which is important, why do we feel like they help us? Because I do. I know they help me. Do I understand it? Hell no. Hell no. Not at all. What I can understand is our species can barely get to our goddamn moon. Whether we ever did or not, well, I don't know. I have my doubts. I'd like to know what Stanley Kubrick was doing the entire time he claimed to be filming 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'd really like to know. But we can barely get to our own moon. Where do they come from? We can't even comprehend that. This to me points clearly to them being a higher being than we are. We just don't like to admit that. I'll bet cattle are pissed when they get led to the slaughter. Let's hope we don't have the same fate, and I don't think we do. I'll be as pissed as the next cow. It is what it is, though, so none of us should be afraid to die. I can absolutely tell anyone who's missing someone that they love that has died that they are not gone.